Welcome. I am Lisa Verano, Senior High Principal at Mount Carmel area. Now, students from our high school will continue a time-honored tradition by joining other students throughout our Commonwealth and nation by being inducted into organizations that represent high standards of academic achievement. These include the National Honor Society, National Junior Honor Society, Mask and Gavel, Quill and Scroll, and the National Athletic Honor Society. On behalf of the Board of Education, the administration, including Mr. Pete Cheddar, Superintendent of Schools, Mr. John Dara, Junior High Principal, and the faculty and staff of Mount Carmel area, I extend my sincere congratulations to the inductees and their families. Now, I will call on advisors, Kelly and Aaron Demansky, to begin our festivities.
Good evening. I am pleased to announce that 30 seniors, 20 juniors, and 41 sophomores have met the requirements for entrance into the National Honor Society. The National Honor Society was founded in 1921 to create an organization that would recognize and encourage academic achievement while developing other characteristics essential to citizens in a democracy.
The purpose of this organization is to create enthusiasm for scholarship, to stimulate a desire to render service, to promote leadership, and to develop character in the students of secondary schools. These ideals of scholarship, character, service, and leadership remain as relevant today as they were in 1921. Mount Carmel area chapter of the National Honor Society has adopted new membership requirements over the past few years. However, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, requirements have been altered for the 2020-2021 inductees. This year's inductees had to earn admittance into the society by meeting the following requirements of the Mount Carmel chapter of the National Honor Society, which are as follows. Students must demonstrate scholarship by attaining a cumulative scholastic average of at least a 93.00 and be qualified for the honor roll, both marking periods of the first semester of the current year and the third marking period of the previous year. And now the President of the National Honor Society, Lauren Shedleski.
Administration, members of the faculty of Mount Carmel Area High School, guests, students, and candidates for admission into the National Honor Society. We are here this evening on a happy occasion, that of welcoming membership to the society. Students who are making outstanding contributions to the school in character, service, leadership, and scholarship. At this time, I will name the senior members. Lauren Ayers, Michael Belichick, Peyton Carl, Damon Dowkis, Jacob Evans, Caroline Fletcher, Austin Garankowski, Haley Kane, McKenna Langle, Nathaniel Long, Valedia Mangiapane, Talia Mazzatesta, Jasmine McClelland, Margaret McCracken, Secretary, Molly McCracken, Treasurer, Claudia Morris, Isabel Parker, Amara Pulowski, Michael Reed, Danny Ray Reno, Vice President, Marley Racinko, Lauren Shedleski, President, Matthew Seller, Garrett Timko, Gabriella Trocki, Rebecca Troop, Reed Witkowski, Giovanni Yankowski, Mackenzie Zerby, and Zane Zalaki. Our Secretary, Maggie McCracken, will now name our junior and sophomore members.
At this time, I will name the junior and sophomore members. Brian Barankowski, Kiara Blocker, Missouri Bosland, Amelia Chapman, Jasleen Dillon, Corinne Ennis, Mason Fretz, Mara Higgins, Christina Kurtz, Elise Mikowski, Desiree Mattis, Devin O'Hearn, Hannah Osman, Devin Palick, Molly Petrucci, Gabrielle Schucker, Courtney Troutman, Andrew Washaleski, Grace Dygert, and Livia Zalaki. Now our president will continue the ceremony. The sophomore members: Olivia Belvey, Emily Britt, Evan Bronkowski, Ashley Cabezas, Elena Chapman, Avery Dowkis, Mason Pantini, Michael Farinato, Julianne Fletcher, Helen Geary, Dylan Haggerty, Mariah Harner, Aaron Harttop, Ian Higgins, Morgan Coletta, Mohammed Kanafani, Alexis Kane, Matthew Kelly, Kelly Lawton, Carly Burkowski, Matthew Mannion, Garrett McGee, Gabrielle McGinley, Nicholas Nestigo, Nicholas Ollie, Jenna Pizzoli, Alyssa Reisinger, John Robert, Leah Versinko, Matthew Shikatano, Leah Shedleski, Hannah Towie, Garrett Verano, Sabrina White, Ashley Wills, Catherine Witkowski, Rachel Witkowski, Anthony Wolkowski, Jacob Zarski, Zachary Zerby, and Hannah Zimmerman. Now our president will continue the ceremony.
The ceremonies today are designed to acquaint you with the ideals and standards upon which our order is founded. The candle that is lit represents the eternal light of knowledge. Candles will be lighted to represent the 4 precepts upon which the foundation of the National Honor Society rests. Our secretary will now read the first precept.
The first precept of our society is scholarship, the keystone of school life. Let first things be placed first, says an old proverb, and that is why we should carry before us the ideal of excelling in our schoolwork. The first duty in school is to learn well the lessons that are set before us. The subjects that we have in school represent the materials that have won their place in the curriculum through the years. Languages, mathematics, science, history, and commercial subjects all represent the culture that society wishes to preserve. To understand the present, we must first acquire our background so that we may interpret the present in the light of what has happened in the past. Let us not be misled by those who decry good scholarship. Scholarship, above everything else, should be that goal of all of us. I will now light a candle to represent scholarship, and then our president will read the second precept.
Service is the second important precept to remember. Man cannot live to himself alone. Too frequently we hear the expression, "What can I get out of it?" or "What is in it for me?" It is the law of banking that no one received interest or a return on an investment unless first an investment is made. To serve one's school is to serve one's fellow student, an investment from which greater returns come to you. Winston Churchill once said, "We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give." What sort of life do you plan to make? Let us keep before us the ideal of service. Service to our teachers, to our fellow students, and to our school. I will now light a candle to represent service, and then our Vice President, Danny Ray Reno, will read the third precept.
The third precept of the National Honor Society is leadership. The crying need of our nation, of our state, of our community, of our school is leadership. We can never have too many leaders who are intelligent, energetic, unselfish, honest, and not dictatorial. Members of our society should set high standards of conduct in everything that is done, so that these standards are always before the student body as excellent patterns by which they may be guided. I will now light a candle to represent leadership, and then our treasurer, Molly McCracken, will read the fourth precept.
The fourth precept of the National Honor Society is character. To adequately define character is a difficult task. The best way that we can do this is list some of the attributes that make up this indefinable thing called character. Strength, not necessarily physical, but strength in the moral fiber that fights off temptation to do wrong, is one of the factors that make up character. In the words of Shakespeare, "To thine own self be true, and it must follow as the night that day, thou canst not then be false to any man," refers to another factor, honesty. To be honest in all that you do. A third factor is unselfishness. Consider the rights of others. Remember that anything you do is the right of everybody. So guide your conduct in order that others do not act as you would not act, and as you would not desire high school students to act. Strength, honesty, and unselfishness are but a few of the attributes of character. Let us keep these before us forever. I will now light a candle to represent character. Our president will then conclude the ceremony with the Honor Society Pledge.
We are now ready to welcome all inductees to membership, but first we must take the solemn pledge. I do solemnly pledge that I will faithfully follow to the best of my ability the four precepts of the National Honor Society: character, service, leadership, and scholarship. I will keep before me the ideal of helping to raise the scholarship of Mount Carmel Area High School to higher and higher levels. I will try at all times to conduct myself in such a way that my actions in and out of school shall reflect pride in the school I represent. You are now members of the National Honor Society. I congratulate you and your families on your membership. This concludes the National Honor Society portion of tonight's ceremonies.
The Mount Carmel Area Society for Scholar Athletes was started by the Mount Carmel Area School District because it felt that such an organization would encourage better scholarship, citizenship, and a high level of leadership among high school students. I would now like to introduce our president, Lauren Shidleski.
The ceremony you are about to witness will initiate a select number of students into the Mount Carmel Area Society for Scholar Athletes. To be eligible for membership, a student must be a senior varsity letterman and be in the upper half of his or her class for 3 consecutive semesters.
When your name is called, will you please take your place on the stage? Lauren Ayers, Michael Belichick, Damon Dowkis, Caroline Fletcher, Austin Garankowski, Riley Geary, Gabe Kumbara, Derek Lawler, Daniel Long, Talia Mazatesta, Margaret McCracken, Secretary, Molly McCracken, Treasurer, Claudia Morris, Isabel Parker, Mara Pulowski, Michael Reed, Danny Ray Reno, Vice President, Lauren Shidleski, President, Garrett Timko, Reed Witkowski, Giovanni Jankowski, Mackenzie Zerby, Zane Zalaki.
In addition to being a letterman in the upper half of his or her class, a student must have exemplified the highest level of sportsmanship and have the right attitude toward the school and fellow students. There are 4 ideals we hold most valuable. Scholarship. The first of our list of ideals, scholarship, is important in the present and future of every athlete. Today's science-conscious world is required and more and better education in every field. Our youth must be well developed mentally and physically. We should adhere to a physical fitness program in recognition of the fact that a sound mind and a solid body go together. We want a union of the two. Everyone respects scholarship and admires athletic ability. The person who is both is doubly fortunate.
Competitive spirit. Competitive spirit is the driving force that lifts an individual out of mediocrity. It is the urge that makes the little man big and the big man bigger. It is the spirit that put the all in all American. All cannot be great athletes, but many can develop this spirit, which means true greatness.
Sportsmanship. Sportsmanship means the art or quality of being a sportsman. Good sportsmanship involves such matters as fair play, keen rivalry, careful observance of rules, courtesy, and positive attitude towards an opponent. It implies skill in, devotion to, or understanding of sports of various kinds, especially conduct becoming to an athlete. It involves honest rivalry, courteous relations, and graceful acceptance of results. Sportsmanship, playing hard to win, but if you must lose, do it graciously. Leadership. The greatest single factor in a team success is leadership. The need of every team is the student who can take charge and rally his or her team when the going is toughest. This quality is not common. In fact, it is rare. Not every athlete can be a leader. Many who have the attributes of leadership fail to accept the challenge. If you cannot be a good leader, then be a good follower.
Our aims are high, but we feel that we can accomplish our purposes and bring scholarship and athletics to a higher plane. I welcome you students as fellow members and remind you that in competition as well as studies, we represent our school at all times.
As advisor for the Mask and Gavel Honor Society, I am pleased to announce that this year, 18 seniors will be inducted. They have qualified for membership by exhibiting excellence in speech and drama. These students have participated in Voice of Democracy, the musical, stage crew, and Veterans Day ceremony. They rank in the upper third of their class. Officers are Mackenzie Zerby, President; McKenna Langle, Vice President; Danny Ray Reno, Secretary; Margaret McCracken, Treasurer; Molly McCracken, Sergeant at Arms. Please welcome President Mackenzie Zerby.
Please let us come to order. We are about to admit to Mask and Gavel those members of our dramatic society whose outstanding achievement has qualified them to belong to an honored group. Sergeant at Arms, will you please state the objective of Mask and Gavel?
One, to recognize and promote significant student achievement in any area of speech in the high school. This includes not only organized activities in theater, public speaking, and interpretation, but also those activities in which speech plays an important part, such as auditorium assemblies and class organizations. 2, to sponsor a better relationship between the high school and the community through a cooperative program with the national service organizations, churches, and other recognized community groups. Our Vice President will enumerate the requirements as laid down by our local organization for acceptance into the society.
1. These students must belong to a dramatic club, stagecraft crew, forensics team, or be involved in a special program. 2. They must have served on committees or performed for entertainment. 3. They must have done credible work in those subjects in school that relate to careful and accurate speech. 4. They must guard their conversation at all times. 5. They must rigorously endeavor to promote the use of good English everywhere and to speak charitably upon every occasion. 6. They must rank in the upper third of their class. The Secretary will now call to the stage those who have been selected to join our ranks.
Please rise when your name is called. Damon Dowcus, Caroline Fletcher, Haley Kane, McKenna Langle, Vice President, Nathaniel Long, Valedia Mangiapane, Talia Mezzatesta, Jasmine McClelland, Margaret McCracken, Treasurer, Molly McCracken, Sergeant at Arms, Isabel Parker, Amara Pulowski, Danny Ray Reno, Secretary, Lauren Shedleski, Reed Witkowski, Giovanna Yankowski, Mackenzie Zerby, President, Zane Zalaki. Please be seated. On the table are 3 lighted candles. They are symbols of lights that have illuminated the pathways of man through the ages, symbols that have made our democracy a great nation, learning, integrity, and speech. It is your responsibility to abide by the principles of these symbols at all times. Our treasurer will explain how we have pledged ourselves to work for the continuing and proficient use of American English in the communities in which we live.
First, by striving for oral excellence in class recitations, clubs and class activities, in assemblies, theater productions, in public speaking, and in reading. Second, by striving to effect a closer relationship between the high school and community through cooperative activities with all recognized community groups. Third, by reaffirming their allegiance to the United States of America and pledging themselves to uphold its democratic principles.
By your attainments, you have qualified for membership in this organization. To become a member, you must accept without reservation a solemn charge. Will the candidates please repeat after me? I pledge myself to respect the opinions of others, to think intelligently and judge fairly, and to uphold the standards of mask and gavel. Members, do you promise to be a credit to mask and gavel, and to use only that language which will honor those who have always tried to better your English? I do. Congratulations, you are now members of the Mask and Gavel Honor Society.
We are about to conduct an initiation of the International Honor Society of High School Journalists, Quill and Scroll. The officers are Mackenzie Zerby, President, Danny Ray Reno, Vice President, Haley Kane, Secretary, Gabriella Trocchi, Treasurer. The individuals who will be recognized today have made outstanding contributions this year in the areas of print and broadcast journalism, which include the yearbook, various print publications, and the morning news and announcements. Please welcome President Mackenzie Zerby.
Quill and Scroll, the International Honorary Society for High School Journalists, was founded at the University of Iowa, April 10, 1926, by a group of teachers of journalism who wished to recognize and to reward worthy high school journalists. To To be a member of this society, a student must pass several tests. He or she must be in the upper third of his or her class, must have done distinctive work in some phase of high school journalism or school publications work, such as writing, editing, management, or production. Must be recommended for membership by the advisor of journalistic work in his or her high school by the committee governing publications, and must be approved as being worthy of membership by the society's executive officer designated for that duty. To enable this particular officer to determine a candidate's qualifications for membership, a complete record of high school journalistic work is submitted for inspection. Quill and Scroll desires to make membership an honor that will stand everywhere for the highest type of high school journalistic achievement. I'm very pleased to announce that 5 students at Mount Carmel Area Junior-Senior High School have passed 4 preliminary tests for the initiation into the society.
I will now read the names of the candidates to be inducted today. Kenzie Zerby, Danny Ray Reno, Gabriella Trocchi, Kaylee Kane, and Jasmine McClellan.
You have been called here because you have demonstrated your worthiness for membership in the International Honor Society for High School Journalists. The ability, which you have displayed in your work, promises much for you whether or not you choose to enter the profession of journalism or writing. But talent means little if it is not accomplished by industry. Membership in Quill and Scroll involves a responsibility which you must not forget, the duty to devote yourself to the welfare of the school and to any other group or community to which you may later belong. Remember that to be a leader in a real sense, you must acquire a background for judging and interpreting the events of the day. You must delve deeply into history, literature, philosophy, and sciences. In but a few years, this obligation of leadership will fall to you even as it now does in this small realm. Make certain that you are fully prepared and fully qualified to assume this responsibility. The badge of the Quill and Scroll Honor Society, with which you will soon be entrusted, is symbolic of the painstaking efforts of the scribes of old to record the events of their time in permanent form. We of today owe the same duty to posterity. Let the quill represent in your minds the meticulous care which must be put forth to turn thoughts into proper languages. Let the scroll represent the permanent quality of good writing. It is now necessary to you, before being declared members of the Quill and Scroll Society and before decorated with the badge of the society, to assume an obligation to the society.
Do you solemnly covenant with these persons here assembled that you will be true to the ideals of the society? In whatever field you choose to enter, will you always painstakingly seek the truth? Will you earnestly strive to aid the best interest of the community? Will you be faithful to your superiors and at all times be a reliable worker? Do you pledge yourself to do all in your power to aid the cause of better journalism? If you pledge yourselves to these ideals, in unison answer, I will. I will. The candidates for membership are ready to be welcomed into the society. Each has attained scholastic rank in the highest third of the class. Each has done superior work in some branch of creative work. Each has been recommended by the supervisor of the journalistic work in the high school. Each has been approved by the executive secretary of the society. Each has taken the oath of allegiance to the society. Members of Quill and Scroll, by the authority vested in me by the International Executive Council, I hereby declare you members of the Quill and Scroll Society, with all the rights, with all the privileges, and with all the duties that pertain to membership in this society. May you ever prove worthy of the faith the society has shown in you today.
Every member of the Quill and Scroll Society has satisfied all requirements for local membership and is deserving of induction into the International Honorary Society for High School Journalists. Quill and Scroll desires to make membership an honor that will stand everywhere for the highest type of high school journalistic achievement, and we, as members of Quill and Scroll, are proud to have contributed to the journalistic endeavors at Mount Carmel area.
Good evening and welcome. Tonight we are inducting 65 members into the Mount Carmel Area Chapter of the National Junior Honor Society. The Mount Carmel Area Chapter of the National Junior Honor Society was initiated 29 years ago to recognize the efforts and achievements of our 8th and 9th grade students. To qualify for membership, a student must have a GPA of 90 or higher from last school year and must be on the honor roll for the first 2 marking periods of the present school year. I will now turn the program over to this year's president, Sierra Bender.
Good evening. Tonight we will be inducting members into the Mount Carmel Area Chapter of the National Junior Honor Society. Our officers will review the 5 qualities which this society holds in high esteem. Our secretary will now read the names of the students who are candidates for membership.
Ninth grade candidates are Gavin Angeli, Cheyenne Bender, Vice President, Sierra Bender, President, Hannah Benedict, Jonas Betleon, Sugar Magnolia Bolam, Olivia Boyer, Andy Bronkowski, Isabella Rosowski, Ava Chapman, Secretary, Kieran Deep Dillon, Treasurer, Kylie Dronick, Bryn Gasparetti, Anthony Grady, Aslan Hollenbach, Kayliana Kalbarczyk, Aiden Klinger, Daniel Krippelbauer, Gavin Lasco, Emily Paul, Sydney Reed, Adrienne Rodriguez, Jacob Schultz, Matthew Chicatano, Zoe Psycho, Cole Spears, Andrew Staggerwalt, Samuel Stutzcavage, Jaden Swaldy, Samantha Zatney, Dominic Tamborelli, Bennett Williams. 8th grade candidates are Olivia Astick, Chase Belichick, Matthew Belichick, Hunter Boblick, Braden Brinkash, Tori DeFrancesco, Aiden Dietz, Isabella Duda, Caitlin Elgin, Kelly Kuricki, Abigail Clokus, Carissa Kornkevich, Kayla Leonard, Lucas Lubinsky, Andrew Lukuski, Alexa Maher, Aiden Marsh, Gavin Marshalik, Declan McCabe, Benjamin Miller, Emily Morris, Ella O'Neill, Mario Wardy, Gabrielle Reyes, Jessa Robert, Daniel Rosenstein, Noah Shimko, Olivia Short, Pamela Slabby, Madison Smith, Haley Spade, Melina Taylor, Francesca Ventilli.
The first quality demonstrated by our members is scholarship. Scholarship means a commitment to learning. A student is willing to spend hours in reading and study, knowing the lasting benefits of a cultivated mind. We should continue to learn even when formal education has ended, for education ends only with life. Knowledge is one great element in life which leads to the highest success. and it can be acquired in only one way, through diligence and effort. Learning furnished the lamp by which we read the past, and the light which illuminates the future. Candidates have the charge to continually expand their world through the opportunities inherent in scholarship. The second quality is service. Service can be described in various ways. In the routine of a day's work, many opportunities arise to help others. Willingness to work for the benefit of those in need without recognition is the quality we seek in our membership. We are committed to the idea of volunteering our time and abilities to the creation of a better tomorrow.
The third quality is leadership. Leadership is to exert a wholesome influence on the school. In taking the initiative in class and school activities, the real leader strives to train and aid others to attain the same objective. The price of leadership is sacrifice, the willingness to yield one's personal interests for the interests of others. A leader has self-confidence and will go forward when others hesitate. No matter what power and resources exist in a country, they are ineffective without the guidance of a wise leader. Leadership is always needed. Thus, leadership is a challenge to each of our candidates.
Character is the fourth quality of our members. Character is the force within each individual that distinguishes that person from others. It gives each one individuality. It is that without which no one can respect oneself, nor hope to attain the respect of others. It is this force of character that guides one through life and, when once developed, grows steadily. Character is achieved and not received. It is the product of constant action and daily striving to make the right choice. The problem of character is a problem of self-control. We must be what we wish to appear to others. By demonstrating such qualities as reliability, honesty, and sincerity, we may hope to prove by example that we value character.
Citizenship is the fifth quality of our candidates. Citizenship is vital to the strength of our country. It requires effort and commitment. Without it, there would be a lack of democracy. In other words, in the words of the late President John F. Kennedy, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. It is the willingness of each person to participate responsibly in the affairs that govern America. Repeat the pledge after me. I pledge to maintain my high scholastic standing, to give of myself in service to others, to lead forward in all things, and to help advance the well-being of my school and my community. Congratulations. You are now members of the Mount Carmel Area Chapter of the National Junior Honor Society.